Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of Deluxe Dishin. I know I have been gone since like June, like the beginning of June since I did my last video about Kia and all that stuff, but I am back. I've been extremely busy, you guys. I've been flying so much and trying to make as much money as I can during the busiest times of the summer, but I am back now, ready to do some more videos. Did a little bit of revamping, as you can see, so I'm making, I got little ideas going on in my head of how I want to improve my channel more and more every single day. But I'm so happy you guys are tuning into another episode right now. I'm going to jump right in and start talking about stuff. First, I want to talk about my summer so far. Basically, I went this summer to see my brother get married. My brother got married in July. Congratulations to my brother Mark. I was the best man in his wedding, and it was such an awesome occasion. So many of our family members came together for this event, and it was just such a wonderful thing to see. You know, my brother finally getting married to Tanya, love of his life. I love it. I love you. Shout out to my brother for that beautiful wedding that they had. It was beautiful. So I also first want to talk, before I start jumping into everything that's been going on in the media, because there's been so much spiraling in my mind, and I wanted to come back so badly to do another video, but I was like, let me hold off and see, wait a little bit. But I held off a little too long, so I have a lot to talk about on today's show. So let's talk about The Color Purple, because I went to go see that in July. The end of July, I went to go see the show. It was such a beautiful show. It had Cynthia Erivo in there, Heather Headley, and Danielle Brooks were the headliners in the show. Let me tell you, each individual woman brought their own flair to that show. That show was amazing. I sat there and I literally I cried. I cried like about 4 or 5 times, because you're so caught up in the emotions of what's going on in the show. Like, they pull you in, especially Cynthia. She has a way of singing and acting that pulls you into the character and lets you really feel what she's feeling. So it was so unbelievable. A lot of people told me, like, this is your first Broadway show. It was my first Broadway show that I'd ever seen live, so you can imagine how excited I was. They said, if this is the first show you're seeing, oh, you're really like, you're seeing the top of the top. So I don't know if I'll be disappointed if I see another Broadway show, but I know I'll go see plenty more in the time. But if you get a chance, before they get off that stage, go see Cynthia, go see Heather, go see Danielle Brooks. They are amazing in The Color Purple. So I'm really glad they brought that back to Broadway. So that was the first thing. The next thing I want to talk about real quick is what's been going on with our politics, because I put a video out, got some real bad feedback from it, but I put it out a while back about Trump, and I really hadn't, decided what I was going to do, because I know there were some Bernie supporters, Hillary, Trump, and all of these things. So I was like, let me hear out these people. But I've come to the conclusion that I'm no longer going to start listening and hearing out what Trump has to say anymore, because it just gets more and more ridiculous. So over the summer, so far, at the DNC and the RNC, there were 2 different conventions. The Republican convention came first. The DNC came directly after it. Now, I never really talked about anything, but you could tell a big difference between the both. The DNC, definitely, I felt more like I leaned more towards what they were feeling and what America is about, and the RNC felt really isolated to me, and felt like something that I never would be a part of or involved with. So it was really hard, to watch the RNC and not get upset. So basically right now, anybody in their right mind, from what Trump has just recently said about blacks and what do you have to lose? What do we have to lose voting for you? What do we have to lose? Really? What do we have to lose? Putting somebody like you in office and putting your hand on any nuclear weapon in the world? There's a lot to lose, sir. So I'm not even going to go into everything that upsets me about Trump, but just know that, I'm sorry. I'm with her. Let's just put it that way. Okay? So we'll move on from that. The Olympics were another huge thing that happened. I didn't really catch a whole bunch, but I saw things here and there. I saw Usain do his final run. I saw Simone Biles tear up the gymnastics, just the whole thing. I mean, there was nobody else on her level. Basically, she was like the Serena. She was like she was the queen. She basically did what she had to do at the Olympics, racked up them goals, and bounced. So it was really good to see that. I watched a little bit of synchronized swimming, but I didn't get to see see everything. But one of the main things that everybody's talking about, which is really sad, is Ryan Lochte. And Ryan Lochte's whole made up story about something that happened in Rio, that, you know, he was drunk, he made some poor decisions, lied about a few things. But the thing that got me was everybody wanted to talk about Gabby this, Gabby her hair. Oh, well, Gabby is, you know, not putting her hand on her heart for the when they're doing the Star Spangled Banner, or when they're doing our national anthem. Why isn't her hand? We want to talk about that, but we don't want to talk about Ryan Lochte, who sat over here and he has basically lied and tarnished what the U.S. looks like, basically tarnished what we stand for, and basically overshadowed the entire Olympics because of his buffoonery. So it's like, basically, you sit up here and you criticize other people, but when it comes to the special privileged people, we want to not really talk about it, or just kind of brush it to the side, because I don't hear anybody talking about it anymore. So really, 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 in all reality, you know, it's really sad because Michael Phelps broke some more records. Simone Biles broke some more records. The U.S. really tore up that stage. And for us to really be downplayed like that and really just looked over like we're liars, you know, it's a bad look for us. So all in all, the Olympics, you know, it was a good and bad thing altogether, but I really truly and did enjoy it. The sad part about it is, like, Rio will not really be, you know, they came for the Olympics, they spent all that money, but when else is that arena going to ever be used again? So I really agree with people that say we need to start recycling places that the Olympics has used before. Like LA is it's been done there before, it can come back. Japan is another one that it's getting ready to go to. So really, in the future, let's start to invest our money in other things, because that, to me, that was like a waste of money, unless they're planning on doing in Rio maybe in the next 100 years, you know. But anyhow, the Olympics was great. Next, I want to talk about my trip down to Atlanta. I just recently went down to Atlanta. I went to Six Flags. I went to have a good time. I haven't been to an amusement park this whole year, so I was like, well, let me head down to Six Flags. I didn't go to my usual amusement park place, but I headed down to Six Flags, and I also got to go visit Bar Chix. The Braxtons, Bar Chix, Trina Braxton's tapas bar. So it was really, I mean, now the service, Trina, please start working on that service. Because, I mean, the day we went, we were there to watch an episode of the Braxton Family Values, when people were there to watch your show, and it was turned on late, first of all. The waiter or waitress that was coming to the table took forever. They said that there was not a cook there or something like that. So I was really, like, disappointed. Like, okay, this is kind of messed up. You know, I'm here to have this experience. Now, the food was the bomb. I mean, I can't complain. The macaroni that they had, the little macaroni ball. Oh, it was good. It was good. It had the little bacon bits in it. It was really good. And then I also had oxtail. That was the first time I tried oxtail. Wasn't too bad. I'm not much for, like, the fatty meat and stuff like that being all over the meat. But other than that, the oxtail was good. But it's little small portions. They had drinks, and I even had a fried Oreo that they had there. So all in all, you know, besides the service factor, Trina, please, let's work on that. But while we are on the talk of the Braxtons, some news came to my attention, and I hate to always bring up, I'm talking about a Braxton, and Tamar will always be in the mix. It doesn't matter what I say. Tamar will always be in the mix. So here's my whole thing. So I'm reading this article. I'm going back and forth, and we're hearing a story about a domestic violence incident that happened with Tamar. It comes from Love B. Scott. He placed the article out here for everyone to read, and it basically talks about this huge blow up that happened between Tamar and Vince in Atlanta, where the police were called and they got some inside information about what actually happened. Obviously, I guess Vince must have bitten Tamar so badly that her fingers were bleeding and stuff like that, and that was the so-called incident that happened. But then they started to give backstory on what might have made this happen. So basically, B. Scott goes on to say that possibly Tamar was actually hired a new manager. When she got this Steve Harvey show, there's a manager that Steve Harvey uses that she started to use, and Vince was no longer her manager. So this upset Vince, and now Vince is they've been in these arguments, but they said this is not the first time that this has happened, that there's been some domestic things that have happened with Tamar and Vince before. I really, truly pray and hope to God that this story is not true. I really hope that it's not true, because I did bring up a fact, and nobody wants to believe me on this, but I brought up the fact that Tamar and Vince, the show is right around, it's about September. Usually Braxton Family Values ends at the end of August, and then Tamar and Vince starts up at the beginning of September, beginning of October, somewhere in that realm. So if this is a publicity stunt, it's a really, it's a humdinger, so it's going to make people watch, the show. But I just did bring up the fact that Tamar and Vince is getting ready to start up, so this might just be something to get people to start to watch the show again, to bring them in, to draw them in. I don't know if it really is, because I don't know if there's other sources that are reporting the same thing, but Love B. Scott was the first person to actually come out with that information and let us know what was going on. So I really don't know if it's true. If it's true, I really hope that Tamar finds it within herself, because I believe from the first and second episodes that I watched, the first and second seasons of Braxton Family Values that I watched, she was in some abusive relationships in the past. So hopefully it's not repeating the same cycle, because they said basically Vince is threatening to take Logan away from her, and he said he would win in court if Logan, if he went against Tamar and wanted to take Logan into his own custody. So I don't know if that's what's holding her back from maybe speaking out about it, or maybe the money factor, that Vince is well-to-do and it's that security blanket. I'm not sure. I can't really speak on it. Tamar is one of my favorite singers and everything like that, but Tamar, I'm praying for you. Hopefully this is not a true story, and this will all get straightened out when your show comes on, or I don't know, if you just don't want anybody to know about it, it's already out. So other than that, yeah, that's what just came into my head. Now, the other thing that has got me going wild. I've been talking about this, you guys. Now, I have been talking about this. Go back to some of my past episodes. I have been talking about this for a long time. Since Channel Orange first came out, I was like, oh, I can't wait till he has a follow-up album, because I listened to that faithfully. That Channel Orange was playing in my ears every week on week. And I was like, wait till, Frank comes out with another album. So we're waiting and waiting and waiting. And Frank never comes out with an album until this past weekend. And it just came like a boom. Like, it was like a whole bunch of stuff. So first he comes out with something called Endless. It's a visual album where basically he's in the studio walking around, building something to walk into, like, walk up to the ceiling. I don't know. It's kind of odd, but it all makes sense when I tell you the rest of this. So Endless came out. He had been leading up to this the whole month of July, like putting things on Apple Live and stuff like this, kind of hinting at something coming. Then we start hearing stories about it. It's coming out now. We never know. Then, right behind that on Saturday, I'm up here I'm on my layover, and all of a sudden I hear, y'all care now? Frank done dropped the album. Blonde drops on us the next day. So after I got done watching it, actually it's Thursday night, really midnight on Friday, watching Endless. Then he follows it up with a whole bunch more songs, like 18 songs on Endless. And then he puts like 17 songs on Blonde, and I'm going nuts. I'm like, oh my God, I got Apple Music. I already had Tidal. Tidal is who I'm going to stay with, but I got Apple Music for a month till he releases, hopefully, physical album. Frank, please release a physical album. If you're hearing me, Frank Ocean, please release a physical album, because a lot of people weren't able to make it to that pop-up shop that you put in London, New York, Chicago, and there was one more, LA. Yeah, so New York, LA, yeah, you put it in all those places besides here in NC where I'm at, but it's all right. I wasn't able to get the special exclusive magazine that came out, or the other version of Blonde that has extra songs on it. So he just dropped a whole bunch of stuff on us at one time. Honestly, I've heard so many different reviews about this album. Some people are really disappointed. Some people are really excited. I choose to hang around the people that are really excited, because I love the album. The album can do no wrong. I I am in love with the album. Like, I've listened to it over and over and over already, like 11 times, no joke. So to me, the album is really great. There are some songs that stick out to me. I wrote a little list. One of the songs I love is Solo. That's one of my favorites. I also like the song Skyline 2. Nike's, of course, is a good one. He has a video that's actually on iTunes or Apple. You can watch it. It's a video that goes along with it. It's a little risque, but it's a good video. Pink and White is another one that I love. Beyonce actually has a small little part on there, kind of like what he did in Supernatural for Supernatural, yeah. Superpower. He did for Superpower for her on her Beyonce album. So it's a little thing that she has in there, but you can hear her voice in there. I also like the song Siegfried, and Godspeed is another good song. I also like the White Ferrari song. That's a really great song. So all in all, Frank, love ya. Ups to you, Frank Ocean. I love the album. If you drop something else, I'll be happy. But I wanted to talk about this also about the album, because this is the reason why I think that Frank has not come out with an album like as quickly. I don't think he wanted to be under Def Jam's label. And guess what? We find out, while I was talking about earlier, that Endless that he put out with the 18s on the visual track was actually Def Jam's. He had to complete his contract. So basically he did that album for them, put it out, but then backed it up with his Blonde, which was under his record label, Boys Don't Cry. So that is the reasoning behind why maybe we've been waiting so long. So we'll see how long. I'm not on him coming out with another album. I'm not going to bother you, Frank, till another couple years. So I'm happy. I'll be cool with Blonde for another couple years. I'm cool. But put in a world tour or something like that, and then we straight. We straight, Frank. Just put in a world tour. I'll be there. We'll be there. There. You know? So anyhow, other than that, now I just want to talk about some of my favorite things that have been happening over the summer, along with some stuff that are DVR or Netflix worthy. It's on the Netflix My List worthy. So if you want to look at something good on DVR, check out Big Brother. Big Brother has been the summer show for 18 seasons. I am telling you, this show is the bomb. It's almost finished, so it's really down to the last few. But if you had to come on earlier in the season, I'm telling you, I've been watching it since the beginning. Mama Day is my favorite. Mama Day, if you hear me, I love you, Mama Day. You are my favorite Big Brother character. I want to see you back on the show next season again. You're the bomb. She plays the game so well. I love Mama Day. Some other of my favorites on there. I like Paul, but Paul has been kind of schemy. He's going to be off the show pretty soon. I also did like Zakiya. Zakiya was a really great character, but she really got too caught up in her emotions with Paulie. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, make sure you go check it out or get that CBS All Access 24/7. Watch some of the past episodes. Watch Big Brother. It's worth watching. If you want to talk about Big Brother, I'm your man. I want to go out and audition for it in the next couple seasons because I love that show that much. So another show that I really would like you to check out on Netflix, and I promised myself I was going to check it out when it first came out, is the show The Get Down. The Get Down, I've heard from all my friends that it is really good, and I told myself, I was like, I'm going to watch it when it first comes out. Still have not watched it, but I know it is Netflix worthy to save on there. Guys, let me know what you think about The Get Down so far. Even though I haven't watched it yet, I want to know what I'm watching it regardless, but it's part one of The Get Down. It's on there. It's produced by Nas and also Forrest Whitaker. So it should be a really great show. I heard Jaden Smith is in the show and everything like that. So it should be a really interesting show. A lot of upcoming actors and actresses are in this show, and it could be the start of something big. Okay, the last thing I want to talk about on a lighter note is what is up this summer with these Arthur memes. They have been killing me. I mean, the Arthur memes are hilarious, folks. I can't get over them. I gotta show you a few of my favorite Arthur memes right now. So that is my show today. I had to leave you on a note like that. Arthur, I mean, these memes they were hilarious. Anyways, thank you for joining me for another episode of Deluxe Dave Dishin. I hope to see you back soon. Make sure you like, comment, or subscribe on this video. If you got some friends, bring them over here. Let them watch some of my old stuff. I'm going to be coming back at you with some new episodes really soon. Talk to you later. Peace out, y'all.